Parks, schools, restaurants, and more, Assembly Row gets high scores. We're a thriving city with so much to do. On Boston Harbor, in our view. Politics, cannabis, controversial stories, heroes, villains, who gets the glory? 50 plus languages in Somerville is spoken. Sanctuary city, there are no free tokens. History in Somerville stays alive. In All-American City, we won 3 times. Somerville connects. Somerville connects. Welcome to another edition of Dead Air Live, an audio podcast, Somerville Connects. Today we have Erica Covelle, CEO of Covelle & Company and Senior VP with Compass. And the name of the show is Designing Real Estate with Erica Covelle. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you for having me, JoJo.
So, Erica, we're gonna talk a little bit about who is Erica Covelle? Where did it all begin? So you could take us on a little journey so our viewers and our listeners can find out a whole lot about you.
Well, okay, so I'll make a long story short, or I'll do my best. So I am actually originally from Somerville. So let's start there. That's how JoJo and I connected, or that's our 6 degrees of separation, we'll say. But so I went to school, I graduated Stoneham High School, and I decided I wanted to go to school for interior design. And so I set upon my journey and went to Suffolk University at the subsidiary school, if that's the word I'm looking for, the New England School of Art and Design. And so I graduated with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in interior design. And upon graduating college, need experience to get the job and need the job to get experience. And so this led me to my first career, which is a sales position, which is ultimately where I ended up, right? So I worked at Boston Interiors for about 5 years. And when I first got there, I was a design associate. Well, I was a design associate from the start to the finish, but I really wanted to help people to create spaces. And I was focused on selling the one thing, and I didn't really understand the sales game. And so as I, developed there my skills as a salesperson, and I will commend my first manager that I had that was, very stringent and tough, but, gave me all this sort of recipe for success. I didn't like being the bottom of the barrel in terms of how, when you're looking at your sales competition and who's doing well and who's not. So I thought to myself, how can I really ramp my game up, and how can I actually be in this industry, in this sales, and sort of combine to both roles, where using my skills as an interior designer and selling furniture. So what I found out was that I was really good at selling the entire room. So when somebody came in to look for a piece of furniture, I actually instead sold them the sofa, the rug, the end tables, the lamps, and that's what ultimately got me to the number 1 or 2 sales position. What happened in this role was it became flat and mundane because you're selling the same furniture day in and day out. So I really needed a change, and I needed that jolt and to feel and fulfill my desire to be an actual designer. So I was always feeling like I was falling behind because yes, I was making a decent amount of money. I was making more money than I would have been as an interior designer, but I didn't have that creative void filled. So I finally got my big break, and I had a professor of mine who has always been a good friend and a mentor, who also resides in Somerville. He worked for his father-in-law's firm called DeMella Schaefer, which is an architectural firm in the South End. So I got my big break. I was wowed by the interior of this space, and I took half of what I was making at Boston Interiors to become a designer. And this was probably around 24 or something years old. And so I became a designer. It was great. I essentially became a starving artist. And so that wasn't so good because I came from an environment where the sky was the limit, and as much as I sold, I could make. And so it was right around the time that the economy crashed, and I was sort of first in, so first out, and that was okay with me. So this is what led me to real estate. I thought, how can I bridge the gap, have a job that the sky's the limit? I'm not dictated by 2 weeks vacation and 5% raise at the end of the year. I can make my own hours because I wanted to have a family. And at this point, I had been just met my husband. We were soon to be engaged and married shortly thereafter. And I really wanted to make sure that, I had something that I could thrive on and flourish in without being under somebody's thumb. So this what led me to real estate. So I got my license, and I've been doing it ever since. So this is probably, I'm 15 years in the business. And that is my real estate story.
What a great journey. I love the idea that you wanted the change. It all became very mundane, interior decorating, selling furniture, and now you own Covelle and Company, because you are Erica Covelle, but you are also teamed up with Compass. So tell us about Compass.
So when I first got into the business, I worked for a very small firm, and you don't really understand how to qualify brokerages when you're a new agent. And so I met my friend's dad ran a brokerage, and I thought this is, going to be a good entry, and it was great. What I found was that I wasn't given the tools necessary to thrive in the environment. I kind of knew that pretty instantaneously, having come from a sales background. I wanted to know who their top salesperson was, what they were doing to make it work, and there was no real science behind it. So I quickly reassessed my situation. I probably worked there for a few months. I grabbed my first paycheck, which was awesome. That was sort of the fuel that I needed to keep going. And then I switched gears and I worked for this company called Century 21 Commonwealth, which is now considered Berkshire Hathaway. And while I was there, I built a business partnership with another gentleman, and we worked together for about 8 years. Part way through that, we decided that, we wanted to build a team, or I decided that we wanted to build a team, because as one person, you can only do so many things. As two people, you can only do so many things. And client care is very important to me. So we switched over to a model that seemed like they were more in line with that team model. So we went over to Remax Leading Edge. And there, just like anything, there are successes and failures, and the team sort of model didn't work for me at that moment. I don't think that I had the right chemistry in play. So our business ship eventually dismantled. And at that moment, I knew that I needed a change. And so, which led me to Compass. I had my eye on Compass for a really long time. I really loved what they were doing. They were still sort of in their infantile stages. And I think we maybe just had our 8-year anniversary, I want to say. But they are really in sync with what my look is from a marketing perspective, and they offer the tools necessary to not only help me succeed, but my clients succeed. So they offer great PR benefits that I can catapult off of, but then from my client perspective, really what we're mainly focused on, and this is where designing real estate comes into play, from start to finish, when we list a property, we are looking to create a perfect marketable package. And so what Compass offers that nobody else does is the ability to lend my seller money, okay, for no cost at all, right? There's no hidden fees. All they do, so that money is to make improvements to catapult off the equity that you already have in your property, okay? And they'll do up to, so now this is scaled back a little bit for the coronavirus, but essentially, let's say, I think we could do up to like 5% of the total value on the opposite side, right? So after the renovation's done, let's say it's a $700,000 house, but it'll be $1 million after renovations. At that point, you would have been allowed $50,000 of renovations, in which case you pay back upon the sale of the property, no other fees. So essentially, we just lend you money to catapult off the equity that you have in the property. This is a very interesting model. Not all agents understand this model either, and they don't really know how to utilize or they maybe don't have the intelligence from a design perspective. So what a lot of people are focused on very much negotiating after you've gotten a sale. Unfortunately, the only way you're getting to the negotiation is if you get the property under agreement. And we do that by creating that marketable product. So where my design skills really shine in the industry is because I can easily go into somebody's house and tell them for minor things that will make big improvements for not a lot of money. They are always suggestions. They're never demands. And I will go into your property and give you a quick assessment after you've decided that you'd like to go into business with us. We then go through the staging consultation and I'll tell you the things that are necessary. So a lot of my clients will say, oh, I'm thinking about doing the roof. And I'll say, well, unfortunately, the roof isn't going to provide any ROI for us. You're not going to benefit or gain from a new roof. That is going to be something that the buyer benefits from. What we really need to focus on is the aesthetic presence, the turnkey approach to create a marketable product that somebody can walk in, drop their bags, and live as such. And so where we're in an environment where we really live in this image-driven society, and this is one of our mottos, is in an image-driven society, we create the image that drives the sale. And so that is the reason I have partnered with, one of the large reasons I've partnered with Compass.
Wow. Okay. What I'm impressed with is Compass does something that no one else does. You have the incentive, and I want to get this right. Will you lend the seller money so that they can improve the property, correct?
Yes.
And you, because of your skills as an interior designer, you can tell them how to make improvements at a fraction of the cost that most people can because of your skills. And this is like a slam dunk. So Compass really has the leading edge, correct?
Yeah, that's kind of a funny play on words because I came from leading edge, but Compass is the leading edge. You're right.
Oh, okay. But okay, they have the competitor's edge. Compass has the competitor's edge that you do something that most places don't do.
No. And most realtors, quite frankly, don't do. So what you have to understand about real estate is that we're all independent contractors. So no two agents are the same, and no two agents that work under Compass are going to be the same. I offer different things to my clients, or our team does, than anybody else. So not only do we offer staging, we offer our consultation and skill set to improve people's properties. But I line up a systematic process. Real estate is a very chaotic atmosphere. And so for the 15 years I've been in the business, I've really been actively trying to streamline this process and create an A team of professionals that really coddle the transaction from start to finish. And so in the beginning, you have a lot of experience with me. And then I bring on my team. I have a marketing coordinator who takes care of ensuring that our listings are all the places that they need to be. So listings thrive off of exposure. Exposure is what is getting our buyers through the door. So the typical way an agent would go through listing a property would be to put it on the multiple listing service. Unfortunately, because people are, and agents specifically, are really kind of lazy, right? Not everybody is scouring the market to see what's new. Now, right now, it's pretty easy. We have very limited inventory, so it's easy to know what's coming on. But when we get flooded with inventory, the best way to go about getting it into not only buyers, but the agents that are going to sell the properties face is to be in front of them on their phones and in their feeds. So we have a very scientific approach to ensure that we're getting in front of our audience. Now, on Instagram, which is our largest platform, we have over 10,000 followers right now. And the majority of those followers are real estate agents. And so why that is important is because I'm putting the shiny penny in front of their face before it even hits the market. And let me tell you why this is important too. Here's a quick example. I went through my process with it was a 1-bedroom, small little property from a past client. It was an investment property. He just decided that he didn't want to have anything to do with anymore. And so he wanted to go through the process of selling this property. I went through our typical motions. I said, listen, Mike, we need to go ahead and we need to do all these things. I know that it's only a $250,000 condo, but it's still important to me, whether you're $2 million or 250, that we go through these motions because it means money in your pocket. So let's go ahead and let's clean the property up, because that's the first thing. It needs to be squeaky clean. So we have the people in place outside of our A team. We have this other A team of professionals, plumbers, electricians, cleaners, anybody that you need to prepare your property. This way I'm lining you straight up with them. You can consider me to be like your general contractor. I'm not having you put a lot of thought into it. I'm taking care of most of it. So go back to Mike. I had him get it cleaned. I sent my stager over there. We furnished it. Looked gorgeous. We do this to evoke emotion and create demand. I went over there on my phone. I did a walkthrough on social media. I did this on Instagram. I got a DM in my inbox, and another agent from a different company said, Erica, I have a perfect client for this. I want to show it. I said, great. You're welcome to show it. Now that's an agreement I had with the seller, because the multiple listing service does push you to the masses, but when you have a bird in the hand, it's worth two in the bush. So we had this conversation. He agreed. I got them in. We were going to list this condo for $240,000. I got an offer 2 days into it for $270,000, closing in 3 weeks. Impressive in the power of social media. Why it's so important in this game, why myself and my team ensure that our sellers get the maximum return on their investment.
You said something very interesting, and I just want to touch upon this. I am blown away with your work ethics. You used the word evoke emotion. When I was with my singing and acting coach, she said to me, what differentiates someone who is great from someone who's mediocre? I said, I have no idea. She said, those who evoke an emotion are the people that succeed, because they are pulling on your heartstrings. And this is what you do with your real estate and selling. You have everyone lined up. So people want to do business with you, and that's why you were getting top dollar. I'm blown away. Fabulous. Okay, so can we talk about, you have a testimonial with someone who you say that you, well, not who you say, you have a testimonial with someone where you helped her sell her home. So let's check this out.
Selling this house at this point in my life, I've had a lot of good years here. It's a lot of work. I'm a single person living in a huge house. It's older, so there's constantly things to do. So it is time for me to move on and let somebody else enjoy. My thoughts on the concierge program: it's nice to be able to do all of the work. And then when you sell the house, at that point, the bills get paid. That's wonderful. Every time something needed to be signed or reviewed, I got an email. We didn't skip a beat for anything that needed to be done.
Covelle Company's concierge program that we run with Compass allows our sellers to be able to implement changes to their properties that is going to help them to receive the best return on their investment. So we fund those projects, whether it is removing carpet or painting walls or changing lighting fixtures or countertops, and there are no costs associated. The seller is just obligated to pay those funds back upon the sale of their property.
The way that Erica made the process easier for me was basically coordinating every step of the way. It was just like having a planner just plan each step out. So I didn't have to, stop and think, who do I call next?
We removed all of the wall coverings. We painted all of the walls. We painted out woodwork. We changed lighting fixtures. We added lighting fixtures. We removed heavy fans. We staged the property to help this home to shine.
And I have actually talked to many of my friends and said, you know, Erica and Covelle Company, it was perfect for me as a single person trying to manage, you know, life and everything. She just made it easy for me. So I much appreciate it.
Erica, that was fabulous. You are doing so much good for so many people. And I know that you said you have a scientific approach. You actually go in and you help people from the beginning to the end where you make people feel at ease. You make this such a seamless approach for people who want to sell their homes. We have a short video. Let's check this one out as well. I love this. You even help people pack up all their things.
In truth, we send you moving boxes to encourage you to purge and pack. And so we do have people that can come and help you to pack. We have plenty of those people. I actually have a great connection there. But we send you the moving boxes. It's a small little kit as a sense of encouragement. And when you purchase with us, we do the same thing. When you're in a locked and loaded purchase and sale agreement, and we know we're going to get you to the finish line, because that's really where, you know, you turn the key. We also send you that same packing, those same boxes, which is cool because they're branded, they're cute, they come with tape, little marker, all that good stuff.
So Erica, you said in your organization you have a marketing person. Who else works right within your sphere there at Covelle Company?
So we have 3 real estate advisors. Those advisors also help buyers and sellers. And we have a team organizer who really runs more the director of operations. She's more runs operations. Her name's Nicole. Lauren Reddington is our marketing coordinator. She runs all of the social blueprint that we've curated and been defining and redefining through the years. And I have Susan Dos Santos, who's our transaction coordinator. She takes care of all the administrative stuff on a deal from contract to close so that we ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. And just to name the 3 advisors that I have, we have Justin Cloak, who is a very seasoned sales rep. We have Miles Plant, who not only is a real estate agent, but he's a firefighter in Stoneham. Greatest guy, super sweet, really puts clients at ease. And we have Lynna, who's our newest real estate advisor, and she's just a wonderful person and a great additive to the team. And the one other person that works alongside me is my husband, and we're etching on, or, you know, he does all of the finances for us. So he's the CFO for Covelle Company, because there's a lot of moving parts in real estate, like, you know, and I've been talking about. And so we need to make sure that we have our pulse on everything. So he ensures that that aspect is taken care of.
You definitely have the pulse and everything. So Erica, we have a few more minutes. What would you like your sellers and buyers to know? Why Erica Covelle Company?
I think that I would like the buyers and sellers to understand the value add that we create. I want them to know that we are very client facing and that customer care comes first and foremost. We really want to streamline that chaotic process, but we want to catapult off of the equity that you have in a property, and we want to make sure that you're getting every possible dollar through that designing process, AKA we design real estate from start to finish. Not only the aesthetics of it, but the systems and operations that get you the exposure, and then from there, streamline the process to the closing table. For our buyers, we want them to understand that we're out there and we're working on their behalf. We're searching for inventory where people wouldn't know to. So we're not just using the multiple listing service. We're finding the off-market transactions for our buyers. And we're looking to help them catapult off of the sloppy agents listings. So we want to ensure that we're teaching and coaching our buyers on how to gain access to a property, procure one that may need the small things that make big improvements. So instantly they close on this property and I can obtain them $50,000 to $100,000 worth of equity. At that point, they can do a cash out refi, take that money and use it towards something else, another investment property, and use money to make money. And that's really what this all comes down to.
Can you please tell us, how can people find you?
Oh, well, you can find us anywhere. If you have the internet, you're going to find Covelle Company. We are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. We were on Snapchat, but we're not anymore. CovelleCo.com is our website. You name it, we're there, and we have that consistency throughout our platforms. Realtor.com, Zillow.com, you can find reviews there. I mean, it's endless, and we make sure of this. We do quarterly reviews on all these things to ensure that we're creating that consistency and that we have a very thorough approach to how you're finding us.
And people can, your scope of where you serve people, is it in Massachusetts or are you all over the United States?
So here's the fun thing. Yes, we are Massachusetts agents, but I do help people all over the world and nationally. And so we've had 15 referrals out to fabulous agents that I have unbelievable connections with. Another benefit to why Compass is such a great place to work. I have this network of people that are at my fingertips that I can qualify and confidently hand over a buyer or a seller to ensure that they are going to have a similar process on that side of the fence as they would here with our team. So I have these extensions of us. And so if you're looking to purchase a home in Colorado, I have that agent. If in the various parts of Colorado, in LA, in Florida, in New York, in Brooklyn, anywhere and everywhere, we can find those people. So yes, we have all of those resources, and we are, the best place to ensure you're going to receive that quality and customer care again.
Erica Covelle, CEO, Covelle and Company, and Senior VP with Compass. I want to thank you so much for joining us today on Dead Air Live and audio podcast Somerville Connects. You were delightful. Everyone should work with you if they want to sell or buy a home. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, JoJo. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye for now.
Somerville Connects. Somerville Connects.